In a world gone mad, driven by subjective delusions and endless arguments, one man stands for logic and truth. Welcome to The Logical Place.
Hello, my friends. Hello. Welcome to The Logical Place, you lovers of the logical, you respecters of the rational. My name is Josh Tolley. I am glad you are here today. Before we get too deep into today's show, make sure you go to livethelogicallife.com, where you can figure out more about what it is to live that wonderful, logical life. You can always go to joshtully.com as well, too. I appreciate the love. Before we do get to our topics today, I wanted to let you know that, yes, the long-awaited Acquisitional Wealth book is now available. It came out less than 36 hours ago, and it is already getting wonderful reviews. As a matter of fact, I got an email from a guy who said, Josh, I started it at 2 a.m., I stayed up all night, read it, finished it, loved it, and it's already changing his life. So make sure you get that. The other new book we put out less than a year ago, this is a really quick, easy, slim one. It's called Kingsbridge Etiquette. It is the protocols for a respectful society that we use at my company. And people have been asking, Josh, you should put that in a book. We want our school, our company, our nonprofit to use those sort of rules. So that's available too. All right, so enough of the self-promotion. Let's get into it. I have 3 stories that I want to cover today, each of them a little bit different. If you are new to the program, let's just set some framework here. I do not care who you voted for. This is a non-biased, non-political, party-aligned show. Matter of fact, I kind of disdain politics. I also don't care what your personal beliefs are. You do you. You do you. I don't care if you love to sing karaoke in a pink tutu every Tuesday. Great, whatever. But with that being said, I do like to take a logical approach to things, and it is my belief. That's not just, a mental one, not just a utopian desire. It is my belief based on circumstantial, deductive, reasoned evidence that we need to get back to a more logical place as adults. So with that being said, we're going to cover some stories. Feel free to disagree. I love being wrong. I really do. I love being wrong, because if you can prove that I'm wrong, that just means I'm about to become more right, which I like. So go ahead and prove me wrong if you are watching this. Feel free to make your argument down there in the comments. However, it has to be a logical one. If you're going to just give me a bunch of emotional drivel, I am going to drop you. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. That reminds me of that song, not just the song, but also the Sundrop commercial.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Anyway, our first story today, the Oracle of Wall Street. I think that's a little bit borrowed. The Oracle of Wall Street, who predicted the 2008 financial crash, that's better, says rise in young sexless men living with their parents will cause the housing prices to plunge 30%. Holy mammer jammer. That would suck. Meredith Whitney, this is from Daily Mail. We'll post a link in the description. Meredith Whitney is saying, yeah, sexless males is the problem. The trend of men refusing to settle. Okay, stop, wait. That's our first little, does this make logical sense? Is it men refusing to settle? Is there like a bunch of men out there who are like, I refuse to settle? Or is it men who are not settling because they cannot find somebody worthy of settling down with? Like, we are literally one paragraph into this thing, and we've already kind of bumped into a logical problem here. Again, you do you. If you want to be the hoe of the South, go for it, right? Rock on. However, there's obviously something happening in home prices, and this idea that men are refusing to settle, and that's what's driving this coming collapse of the housing market, isn't necessarily true. I'm sure everybody has seen what they call bro culture or the red-pilled men or whatever you want to call it. I am not one of them. I am very happily married with 4 little rugrats running around the house. But I'm sure we've all seen it, right? We've seen these men who are like, I'm not going to settle down. These women are just hoes. That's the reason that guy is angry is because he wants to settle down. I do not eat sushi. And because I don't eat sushi, do I get mad at restaurants that have it? Am I like, no, I'm refusing to eat sushi? No, I just don't care. I don't care. The reason why they care, the reason why they're having a fit, the reason why there's the rise of passport bros or, whatever, men rejecting women, is because they actually want it. It's just no longer worth it. I'm just saying, it's no longer worth it. When a man gets divorced, and by default in America, most of the time, she gets the kid, she gets the house, she gets the dog, why bother? It's not men who are refusing to settle down. It's, is there anything left to settle down for? And I'm just asking. I'm married, have a bunch of little tiny people, so I dig it. But as a culture, as a society, have we moved away from that? But I digress. Let's get back to it. And this rise of men refusing to settle down comes as the silver tsunami is also approaching. What's the silver tsunami? It is the rise of baby boomers that are needing to downsize, or they're dying or whatever, but it's leaving a massive surplus of available properties that are starting to trickle into the market now and will continue over the next decade, which means if there's 5 million houses for sale and 3 million buyers, what does that do for home values? Drops them through the floor like a Nicki Minaj dance beat. She continues, you feel like you're with other people, but you're actually home alone. Man, there's a lot of hip-hop references in this story.
So take it off like you're home alone.
Nelly. And that created a big chasm of young men sociably. So she brings up this point about how young men are no longer social. Also absolutely true. Absolutely true. Boy Scout attendance is down. Sport participation is down. Yep. Is that a good thing? Absolutely not. But what's the driver behind that? We taught boys not to be boys. And then we made fun of them for being boys. Or we shamed them for being boys. Or we told them that any sort of male behavior is somehow toxic. Unless, of course, there's a bad guy shooting you, then please bring the toxicity, right? And I'm not just saying in the extreme movements. I'm saying even in the, men can't have men-only health clubs. Women can. Curves. Celebrate diversity. But men can't have men-only health clubs. Men can't have male groups and societies, the Elks Clubs, Moose Clubs, whatever, right? Because that's leaving us out. Well, if you don't want men to be men, then stop complaining when they're not men. And, it's kind of hypocritical when you see these female psychologists or whatever paraded across social media, and they're talking about the crisis of manhood. Where's the good men? You didn't want them. Good men are still men. And if you're under the impression that men are bad, then there's no such thing as a good bad. I mean, that's logically not possible. You can't have a good bad. And if men equaled bad, good bad isn't even an option. So because of that, we are seeing this unsociability of young men. Men want to wrestle, play, tell dirty jokes, swear. We love to do all the crap that women hate. That's what made them different. So anyway, we continue. These figures coincide with the decline of romantic relationships amongst men. In 2023, Pew Research did a study that 63% of men under 30 are single. Holy crap, is that true? 63% of men under 30 are single? That's a problem. That's almost like an extinction level event. Not kidding. That's problematic. I've been covering the population decline since 2011, and nobody had been listening until recently. Now it's starting to dominate the news, but that's big. Experts attribute this figure to a confluence of factors: increased porn consumption and the rise of hookup apps. No, I would actually say that the increased porn consumption and the rise of hookup apps are because of the lack of availability of what the men were after anyway. It's kind of like, do men want Jack in the Box hamburger, or do they want the steak? They want the steak. All people should want the steak. When that steak's not available, what do you settle for, though, because you're still hungry? You settle for Jack in the Box. Or if it's 2:30 a.m. and you're a little tipsy, you are getting the Nachos Bel Grande from Taco Bell. And that's just the way it is. And again, you do you. I'm not trying to tell you that hookup apps are, the devil's playground or whatever. I'm just saying, when you look at that, if this dude, Bob, if Bob was getting, there might be kids watching, if Bob's getting lucky 5 dates a week, right? Bob's too tired to then go on the hookup app. Bob's too tired to, hit the porn site yet again. And do you know how we know that? Watch how porn attendance on websites drops about 20 minutes after they start watching. Now, why do you think that is? Why? Isn't that weird? 20 minutes after they go to that website, they then go to other websites. Odd. So if whatever was happening to the adults out there, if what was happening in those 20 minutes was happening consistently, do you know what Bob wouldn't have the energy to do? Just saying. And of course, that's not everybody. I mean, you have those sex addicts who are like, "Hey, I want it 5 times an hour, and if I can't, that's a whole separate thing." But when we're talking about 60% of men are single, come on. And what's one of the biggest drivers of that? Obviously, nothing I just said, because that would make too much sense. The biggest drivers: Xbox and PlayStation. No. Nope. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. However, the biggest driver of home prices going up. Now, before I get to the answer there, according to this article, why is it important that home prices go up? Because the entire U.S. economy is pretty much based on more people are coming to buy your crap. That's what it's based on. Why does the housing market exist and have, ever appreciating values in theory? Because there's more people coming to buy your home. Why is the stock price going up even if profit of the company goes down? Because there's somebody coming behind you to buy those shares. That's just kind of the false or synthetic element to the American economy. None of those things are actually true, nor should they be actionable, but that's kind of where we're at, regardless. So when we look at home prices going up, that's a very, very important thing for the United States economy, even if you don't own a home. With that being said, since the start of the country, what has been the biggest driver of increased home prices? Is it vacation destinations? No. Is it tech jobs in the valley? Nope. Do you know what the number one driver of home prices is? Marriage. What? Yep, they call it diamonds and diapers. You go and get yourself a wife, and then all of a sudden that wife wants a house. Now, we've all heard the expression, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? And I get it, from the 50s or whatever, when your dad took you outside and said, "Son, you got to buy the cow." And there's some truth to that. There is. But let's just get beyond your, personal, philosophical, moral element there and talk about the economics of this. Most men can be happy in a single bedroom with a television and, ironically, that PlayStation or Xbox, and a blow-up mattress. We're good. We're good. And it doesn't even matter if you're wealthy. Look at that dude who was behind that shoe company. He was a billionaire. Where did he live? In an RV park. Where is Harbaugh living right now, the coach of the San Diego Chargers? Dude's making millions. He's obviously living on a mansion and a beach, right? No, he's in an RV park. And do you know who's with him? His buddy who thought, "Hey, dude, this is so much fun." He's living in the RV park too. Because we're kind of simple creatures, right? So what drove men to buy the house? That pretty little thing over there. And when that pretty little thing over there says, I'm committed to you, the guy says, oh, well, hell's bells. I guess I'm going to go work more hours to buy this house that I'm never actually going to use. You're going to live in it and expect me to fix it and call it a honey-do list. And then you buy a dog and I'll end up walking that and yada, yada, yada. Away we go. It doesn't really matter because that was the biggest driver of home prices. If you eliminate the need for a guy to buy a house for a pretty little thing that's committed to him, then he's not going to buy the house. Well, Josh, that's just your theory, Josh. No, it's not. Matter of fact, same article. Do you know who buys 20% of all the houses? Single women. So the largest consumer of homes, 80% of homes, is bought by the family unit, right? The second largest group is single women. The smallest group, single men. Single men have no desire to own a house. Maybe some land to run around and, get an ATV or something. But no desire to buy a house. So, when you are out there supporting hoe culture, stop slut-shaming us, and all that other sort of stuff, just know you are to blame for the 30% reduction in the home prices. Because I only want a man if he's 6'4" and makes $200,000 a year. Yep, there's a 99% chance you are going to be single then. So, man, off to a rough start. These poor people. All right, what is the next thing in our lineup of lunacy? That made sense. We should turn that into a shirt. Conservatives no longer care about freedom. Again, asterisk. I am not a member of a political party. I have been claimed as one of their own by all three major parties, Democrats, Republicans, and Libertarians. I have spoken at or attended all of their conventions. I am not affiliated with the Conservative Party. So do not comment down below. Well, Josh, you're just saying that because you're part of... Nope, shut up. Shut up. However, let's look at what Ella Whelan from The Telegraph has to say. Conservatives no longer care about freedom. Now, if they don't, let's go after them. I'm with you, Ella. Did I say Ellen? It's Ella. Hey. It's Ella. What's the issue? Well, wouldn't you know it? It's got to be abortion because evidently that's just the only thing that represents freedom, I guess, in America anymore. Abortion is effectively banned in Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, and other states, she says. Okay, let's just see if that is actually true and happening. Survey says no. Well, yes, Josh, it is. I mean, Oklahoma banned abortion. And that's irrelevant. Abortion has maintained the same level of abortions in Oklahoma since the ban. And in some cases, it has actually gone up. So, again, if you're pro-abortion, then you should be celebrating what I just said. Stop with all the hate. I'm just telling you the truth. It's gone up. That's... Well, then, Josh, why is it a ban? Because people don't understand what is actually going on. It's not really a ban. They didn't make it illegal. They just made this is going to be state by state. So in general, they made providing the service in the manner in which it used to be provided illegal. So in Oklahoma's case, you can't be an abortion doctor. Does that mean there's no abortion in Oklahoma? You would have to be an idiot to think that. Does that mean every form of abortion in Oklahoma then is illegal? Nope, you'd also have to be an idiot to think that. Because you get these illogical people who are like, well, then they're going to go behind the 7-Eleven with a coat hanger. And no, shut up. No, that's not even in the realm of the majority of how this is happening. Do you know what they do? They buy a legal abortion pill, and while they're chilling watching, Jerry Springer or whatever, he's off the air. Maybe Judge Judy or something. They just pop the pill. So no, not at all. But let's continue. I mean, maybe Ella has a point somewhere in here. BBC, no, let's keep going. Get to the point, Ella. A lot of emotional drivel. If your argument is made emotionally, then it's irrelevant. Just so you know. Oh, then we get to the end. Okay, so let's see. Okay, poll after poll shows that the rhetoric about abortion doesn't match reality. A recent Gallup poll revealed just 13% thought abortion should be illegal in all circumstances. When it came to political identification, 52% of Americans described themselves as pro-choice, with 44% identifying them as pro-life. Ugh. Okay, she says all this would be laughable if it weren't so serious for American women. Arizonians will now have to travel miles. What? That's what it says. I'm not making this up. They will have to travel miles. So? So? You know, if I want to catch a Yankee game in Yankee Stadium, do you know what I'm going to have to do? Travel miles. What's your point? They may also be unable to overcome barriers put in their way. What barrier was put in their way? What barrier was put in their way? Well, Josh, I said it early in the article. Abortion might now be illegal in their state. No, it's not. 50 out of 50 states, still abortion states. Well, they might have to travel those miles I referred to, and that's an obstacle. No, that's not an obstacle. An obstacle is when something else is added that you have to overcome. So no obstacles there. This sort of reactionary view of women's freedom doesn't belong in a country that calls itself the leader of a free world. 50 out of 50 states. Isn't it amazing how they have the entire country arguing about this issue, and even the experts that are writing articles about it don't seem to understand the state of abortion in the United States? That would be like saying, let's say Tennessee decided to use a firing squad as a way to execute. And then they said, you know what? We've kind of changed our view on that. Now you can only, lethally inject them. And then some expert writes an article, execution no longer legal in Tennessee. No, that's not what that means. People. If women aren't free to make their own decisions, none of us are. You can make the decision to travel miles or go to the mailbox. If I was a woman and I'm reading this crap, you know what I'm thinking? They think you're an idiot. They think you're lazy. They think you can't walk 6 feet, or even take your wheelchair, or even have somebody hand you the mail, or you can't travel miles. These are the same sort of stupid people who are like, women in the 1800s can't travel on trains because their uteruses will fall out. And that's really what people thought. And when you have people who think they're pro-freedom, who write crap like this, they're not pro-freedom, they're pro-agenda. And that agenda is based on their wants and emotions, which makes them, by definition, say it with me, a child. Yeah. So they're a child. And that's where this gets really problematic, because if women aren't free to make their own decisions, none of us are. It's time to start calling this barbarianism what it really is. Well, she didn't finish that thought. That was just the end. Well, let's do it for her. All right, grab a dictionary. You ready? I think words are important because words mean things. So let's look up a barbarous person. What is a barbarous person? A rude, crude, uneducated, or uncivilized person. I would consider the rude, crude, uncivilized person the person who thinks women are incapable of traveling miles. Just saying. Let's take the barbarous person who's uneducated. How many pro-choice people, and again, asterisk, you do you. You can have whatever view you want. Okay? However, just do it logically. Logical place. How many pro-choice people believe that a fetus is a clump of cells? Seriously. Nobody thinks, no scientific research says that. None. Again, see, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to say that. And you're like, yes, Josh, it is a clump of cells, and I have the right to. No, it's not. No, it is not. Buy a biology textbook. Nothing says it's a clump of cells. 2, it's part of the woman's body. No, it's not. And again, as soon as I say that, another round of hate mail is going to be sent in, or hate comments, but it's not. Do you know how we know this? 2 ways. Science and law. Science and law. Both of them. Scientifically, that child has its own blood. It has its own DNA. It is not part of the woman's body. So not a parasite, not an organ, not a part of the woman's body. You can still think, listen, you can still think you should have a right to do this, but stop acting like a 4th grader from 1914. That's what they would have thought. Next. A fetus is not a baby. Okay. Grab your dictionary. Do you know what fetus is Latin for? Baby. So you hear these people like, it's a fetus. It's not a baby. It's a fetus. You're literally saying it's not a baby. It's a baby. It's not a baby. It's a baby. What? It literally means, in Latin, little human. So again, have your position, but don't be barbarous. See, wait. Those are the people who are barbarous. What is barbaric? Let's just throw that in, because you can't be a barbarous person or participate in barbarism unless we know what barbaric is. What is barbaric? Savagely cruel or exceedingly brutal. Next. I know we're on fire today. Next. Okay, this one we have video participation. Remember when you were in school and the teacher would roll in the screen and you're like, yay, I get to like just chill and sleep? It's kind of like that today. We are going to be reviewing something that Tom Hartman put out just this week. And again, before we say this, you can hold whatever view you want. It's amazing how often we're going to have to say that in the first 2 years of this show. You can hold whatever view you want. I have met Tom Hartman. I did a program with Tom Hartman. We did a debate, a presidential debate together back in 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. So this is not even an anti-Hartman thing. Don't be like, I like Tom Hartman. Great. He's a great guy. That's not the point. We are just arguing logically the point that he's making. So let's get to that, shall we? Let's see what he says. The title of this wonderful little piece is, Are the Rich Getting Second Passports Because of Rising Fascism? ? Okay, we haven't even pushed play yet, but we have to point out something. The reason why it's rising fascism ? Provides for this wonderful little gap where you can say, well, I didn't say that's why. I just asked the question. It's kind of like if you take out a piece of paper and write down, I didn't say you stole the money, right? What does that sentence mean? It means whatever you want it to. Watch. I didn't say you stole the money. Well, that means somebody said you stole it, but it wasn't me. I didn't say you stole the money. Okay. It was said, but I didn't do it. I didn't say you stole the money. Well, I might have emailed it, implied it, but I didn't actually tell anybody. I didn't say you stole the money. Well, somebody took it, but I didn't blame you for it. I didn't say you stole the money. Well, it could have been borrowed or, it could have been misplaced. I didn't say you stole it. I didn't say you stole the money. Well, you could have taken the wrench or the toolbox or some other resource. I didn't say you took the money. See what I'm saying? Just by putting a different emphasis on a different syllable, you can make one sentence mean 6 different things with 6 different words. So when they say, are the rich getting a second passport because of rising fascism? It gives them this little, well, I didn't say they were. I'm just asking the question. But in reality, you're implying they are. Otherwise, you wouldn't have titled the video that. But anyway, I digress. Man, it's terrible when you find faulty logic before you even hit play. Let's go!
The rich are getting second passports, third passports, fourth passports. Why? Well, some are doing it for taxes, but a lot of them are doing it because they're worried about the future of America.
Okay. So, well, I'll let him say it first. Just hold on. I'll wait. I'll be patient. I'll wait.
Now, I don't get this. if I was a billionaire and I was worried that, America might go down the tubes, that Donald Trump might, foster a civil war, I wouldn't be trying to get a passport in Monaco or Greece. I'd be trying to prevent a civil war in America.
Okay, so let's just make a list of his points. Rich people, billionaires, we're kind of Bernie Sanders in this thing, right? The millionaires and the billionaires. Leaving, fear of civil war. Why not stay? And be part of the process. He also mentioned fascism in the title, so let's see if that comes into play. Let's keep going.
But apparently not these people. This from CNBC, wealthy U.S. families are increasingly applying for second citizenships and national residences as a way to hedge their risk, according to a leading law firm. These passport...
Okay, wait. He referenced the CNBC article. I have it. So, he's not going to be able to say anything that it doesn't actually say without being called out on it. I have the entire thing right here. We will link to it in the description so you can follow along with Tom. But he's citing this article as if it's authoritative. So let's see what it says.
Portfolios, collections of second or even third and fourth citizenships in case they need to flee their home country.
In case they need to flee their home country. All right, let's go.
Dominic Voltek, the group head of private clients at Henley & Partners, says the idea of diversification is well understood by wealthy
I'm not the only one who does voices.
Wealthy individuals around what they invest. It makes no sense to have one country of residence and citizenship when I have the ability to actually diversify that aspect of my life as well. The top destinations for second passports are Portugal, Malta, Greece, and Italy.
Wait, Portugal, Malta, Greece, and Italy? So not Monaco and the rich, luxurious destinations that he kind of inferred. We'll just leave that one there. We won't even have to list it. I think most people can already pick up. That was tricky.
Portugal, actually a friend of mine who's just a middle-class guy just moved to Portugal. In fact, we visited him last summer.
A middle-class guy?
And he's working on his Portuguese citizenship as a second citizenship.
Is his middle-class friend less evil for doing this because he's middle-class? I mean, are only the rich people evil because they do this? Evidently, my middle class. Notice how he's making it about class and wealth status. Anyway, thought that was interesting. Middle class guy, totally cool.
He fled Florida, actually. Portugal's Golden Visa program is especially popular since it provides a path to residency and citizenship with visa-free travel in Europe. So all you have to do is invest about $541,000 in Portugal. You can put it into a private equity fund. I mean, you can put it into an investment where you get a return. Boom, you can get a visa. And then, work on getting your citizenship. Malta offers a golden visa for 300,000 euros. It'd be about $350,000. But you have to invest that in real estate. And he says that's become especially popular among Americans. He said with Malta, you become a European citizen with complete settlement rights across Europe. So you can live in Germany, your kids can go and study in France, and you have the right to live, work, and study throughout Europe. What's the old saying? Nice work if you can get it. I still think, though, that our rich in America, the rich people in America, would be better served trying to fix some of the problems with America. Sadly, there are literally dozens and dozens of billionaires who are openly supportive of Trump and the GOP. And I can think of 2 billionaires who are supportive of Democrats.
Okay. 2 billionaires who are Democrats. We'll put this on here too. So, this is a 2-minute and 50-second clip. Let's go through the points that Tom made. First, we already knocked out the title. That's just a whole bunch of baloney. Next, Billionaires leaving fear a civil war and not staying to help. Not these people. Okay, I read the article. You can read it too. Do you know what this article does not mention at all? Civil war. So, Tom Hartman is doing that to promote an emotional position that he thinks and feels that these rich people leaving is bad. And he doesn't want you to know the real reason, so he infers that it's because they want to avoid civil war while quoting the CNBC article. The author of the CNBC article should be a little mad because that's not what the article says at all. Not in the article. Do you know what else is not in the article? Even the word fascism. I know, right? You're telling me an emotional-based person in the political sphere is making up something that's not in the article to kind of make you think their point is more valid and more correct? No. Again, you can be opposed to people leaving the country, Tom. Go you, buddy. But you can't lie, or at least you shouldn't. Evidently you can. But you shouldn't lie. It's not in there. It's right here. Not in there. But let's go through his other points. In case they need to flee their home country. In case they need to flee their home. Not in there either. We are 0 for 4. Tom has suggested or said that there are 4 things in this article for his 2-minute and 50-second clip. None of them are in the actual article. Let's continue. The golden visa to Portugal. Do you know who else offers this golden visa program? We do. Yep, it's called an E2 visa. America offers it. So if it's bad if Portugal does it, Tom, and your Democrat president offers it here, are you saying that Biden's bad for offering the same thing? Or is it just evil when Americans leave? I'm just trying to figure you out, buddy. That's kind of weird. We call that a hypocrite. The $541,000. Notice how he emphasized that? $541,000. Again, trying to make you think this is only for the rich. I have been part of these deals. Do you need the entire $541,000 to do this? Survey says no. Nope. You have to buy an asset that's worth $541,000. I'm not sure where Tom lives, but I'm sure Zillow could tell us the value of the home. Tom? Just saying. And then this whole idea that, you get one from Malta and you can go anywhere in Europe. Good job if you can get it. Wait a second. Hasn't the left side of this crazy thing we call American politics been telling us forever how great Europe is? And here's a way that a middle-class person, yes, middle class, he pointed out middle class, a middle-class person could go get the life that they wanted? Just saying. And then he points out, notice how all these billionaires are supporting the right wing. This does not mention the right wing. Look, I'm going to do a show. We've done multiple shows. Yep, the right wing is just as bat crap crazy. Got it, right? So don't be like, you're just promoting. Nope, just look up the other shows we've done. But that's not what the article says. All I'm saying to thinking adults is just be logical. It does not take a political position at all. At all. But he wants you to think it does. So you don't go read the article. You just go, well, Tom Hartman said it's all these millionaires and billionaires trying to leave America, trying to avoid a civil war, trying to not help the country they're in, trying to leave and just leave the poor people back and fight the Civil War. Let's go to the article. We already know Tom is the one that's back crap crazy with his points, but let's go to what the article actually says. CNBC. Yep, that CNBC article. CNBC. Of course, wealthy people are not packing up in mass and... What? Page 1? Wealthy people are not, that means are not packing up in mass and ditching America. They're not giving up American citizenship. And let's just pause that real quick. There's a difference between getting a European passport and no longer being an American citizen. Those two things are not the same. Back to the actual article. While a relatively small number of Americans do renounce their citizenship. How many? Small. Oh, okay. While a relatively small amount of Americans, wealthy Americans, oh, no, wait, it didn't say that. While a small number of Americans of all income brackets renounce their citizenship and declare a new country their home, many wealthy Americans are just shopping for an added visa. Now, yes, it does say wealthy. Does it mean only wealthy? No. And how do we define wealthy? According to Tom, well, I just know 2 billionaires. That's not how we define wealthy, Tom, and you know that. If you've ever done a show on the 1%, does it take $1 billion to be in the 1%? Oh, God, no. Have you ever done a show on how only the 10% of the country are making it financially? Yes, you have. And does it take a billionaire to be in the top 10? No. Anyway, let's continue. Here are the three main reasons why Americans of all incomes are getting their passports. Wait. Okay. Civil War. Oh, no, wait, that's not it. Dang. For Americans and British people, the reason they're doing it is because they're unsure they're welcome abroad when traveling. So they're not leaving, Tom? They're not leaving America? They're going on vacation, and you're equating that to rich people are getting second passports to avoid a civil war and avoid fascism. Well, wait a second. Let's just think about the logic of what you're arguing. You're saying that the rich people are the fascists, yet they're also getting the passports to avoid fascism. Anyway, and it turns out no. The number one reason why most Americans and British people are getting second passports is in the rise in global instability. So not even American instability, Tom? Come on, buddy. The rise of global instability, holding a citizenship or a passport from another country that's considered more neutral seems to be safer. Yeah. Do you know who else will tell you that? The State Department. Or your 5th grade teacher. Second reason. Civil war, fascism, and billion. No. Doing business in other countries and not wanting to be a target for terrorism, hostage taking, or other such nefarious purposes. That's weird. Okay, third one is obviously fascism, civil war, and all these billionaires. No. Retirement. To be closer to family and friends. So, this idea that millionaires and billionaires are getting their second passports to avoid fascism and civil war is an absolute lie. Not logical at all. Oh, but wait, there's more. So, if you're making the argument that America is the place that they're trying to avoid, which political party holds the White House right now? So they're trying to avoid Democrat policies that you considered unstable, but I bet you voted for? Okay. Anyway, turns out that global migration is actually seeing more millionaires and billionaires come to America, not leave. Oh, man. Doesn't it suck when the logical point you were trying to make was actually an emotionally, politically driven point, and the actual logic says, one, the points you made aren't factually true, and then two, we're actually getting an inflow of rich people, not an export of rich people. Huh. And as the article says right there on the bottom, which I'm sure Tom just loves, because it supports his argument of how America's terrible. Wealth creation opportunities in the U.S. are second to none. Get out of town. Well, I mean, evidently, literally, get out of town and America. Now, again, you might say, well, Josh, I mean, you're getting pretty expressive. I mean, that doesn't seem too logical. Isn't logical supposed to be like Spock? Live long and prosper. No, ironically, though, he says live long and prosper, which kind of lines up with... Anyway, I digress. Being logical doesn't mean you can't be expressive or have fun. It just means that the points that you're trying to make have to make sense. That's all. Now, are there millionaires and billionaires that want second citizenships? Sure. Are there people who make 50 grand a year doing it too? Yes. How do I know? I'm helping them. Now, beyond that, does that mean if you get a second citizenship or a second passport that somehow you're not involved in America? Absolutely stinking not. Peter Thiel is mentioned in this article. Peter Thiel is somebody who I'm pretty sure Tom Hartman would disagree with politically with some of the moves that Peter Thiel has made. So is that applicable to Peter Thiel? No, not at all. Not at all. There are many, many reasons why millionaires, billionaires, middle-class people, whatever, would also support and defend and get involved in with whatever America's going to go through, while also at the same time having a passport from someplace else. This is logically childish. It is logically childish. It's absolutely inappropriate. And Tom, I love listening to your show, man. You know better. Do better. All right, that does it for today, my friends. We are done. That was fun. I enjoyed today's show. I hope you did too. If you want to be a part of what we're going on, let me try that again. If you want to be a part of what we're doing, head on over to Live the Logical Life. Tune into this show again, subscribe, share, all that social media stuff that you're supposed to be doing. You can also find some wonderful members-only content, because in a world that is driven by supporting that which you believe in, it is important to support that which you believe in. So join us there. Get a copy of the new book, of course, and all that sort of stuff. Until we meet again, my friends, remember to live logically.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The conversation your mind so desperately needed and your heart unknowingly ached for. Now the rest is up to you. Until next time, may your path lead to heaven, and may freedom follow in your footsteps.